Hello, beautiful people. I hope you're having a lovely drive to work right now. And if you're watching from home, I hope you bring your friends and your instruments because today my partner Elle and I are going to be taking you on a musical journey, so to speak. Now, chords are made up of multiple notes that are played simultaneously to create a beautiful sound. And we thought it'd be a good idea to look at perspectives from listeners, performers, and creators and see how they work together to create something like a beautiful chord, but with different versions of communication, like nonverbal, verbal, all those kinds of things. Elle, why don't you start off by introducing yourself?
Hey guys, it's Elle Reinarz. My major is communication studies. I did choir when I was in high school. And fun fact about me is I have a huge episodic memory. Like I remember years and dates, like on detail on anything. Like I just have a good episodic memory.
That sounds really useful to have. I wish I had that. My name's Alexandria or Alex, and my major is criminal justice, and I have a comm minor. I play in a lot of orchestras throughout the Hill Country, including the Symphony of the Hills. And fun fact about me, I've been to 48 states and 24 national parks.
That's awesome.
Now, before we get into our topic, first I want to introduce our special guest creators. Pavilion, why don't you introduce yourselves?
Hello. That was a great intro.
Thank you.
Wow. My name is Jakob Stevens. I am the lead singer, guitar player, songwriter sort of guy in the band Pavilion. I'm not really in college, so for major, I guess I'll just if I was in college, I'd probably be a music major, but occupation, I guess, is just lead for this band. And I'm about to start working at a little CBD shop, so that's going to be fun. Musical involvement, yeah, like I said, singer, songwriter, guitar player. I've played in church bands and stuff like that before. I wasn't allowed to play in a high school band or middle school band because I had concussions and my doctor wouldn't let me. And a fun fact about myself is I'm really good at rock skipping.
Oh, that's awesome.
I can attest.
That's a unique skill.
Like when you throw a rock in water.
Yeah, when you throw it on the
That's
water, it'll
cool.
just oh, I can get it across the Guadalupe most of the time, but it's very fun. I'll sit there and do that all
Do
day.
you have a top number? What's the most skips you've done?
It's hard to count, but there's been a few where they won't. The only reason they stop is because they hit the riverbank,
Oh,
so I can't like really
that's so
count.
sad.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know, maybe like 20 or 30 or something like
That's
that.
impressive.
There are some rock skippers that just go for like a football field. It's crazy.
I am Jagger Martin, and I am the bassist for Pavilion, and I just ride on his coattails a little bit. He's definitely the creative head, but we bounce off each other really well. I do go to college. My major is music, and I'm also in a minor in finance.
Let's go.
Yes, yeah. I thought it'd be. I was always worried about. I know the risk of being a musician financially, so I figured I ought to know how to handle my money if I'm going to do this.
Yeah, that makes sense.
My musical involvement, I'm doing this. I've been in some bands before meeting Jakob with the drummer of our band, actually. I've known him since 7th grade.
Wow. That's a long time.
Yeah, and we've been in a few bands together. Actual like professional musical involvement. Right now I'm in the university concert band and the university choir. I did marching band, I guess that counts. And I was just part of a musical ensemble for the first time. So that was pretty cool.
That's cool. Yeah. Any fun facts?
I aspire to be a comic book writer.
Oh, that would be
That's
awesome.
impressive.
Yeah, I'd like to. I've always loved comics, and I really want to. I have like stuff like
Stuff.
prepared.
That is the start.
Yeah.
That is the
Stuff.
starting point.
I just have to get the skills to put my ideas on the page.
Yeah,
so
I'm
to
sure
speak.
you'll develop that pretty quickly. I don't know if you've noticed, but we've had a couple fun facts throughout the podcast already, and that's actually going to be a reoccurring theme throughout the entire podcast before we transition from each section. Elle, why don't you give us a fun fact?
So I have to read it with me if it's okay. So at Ohio University, there's a fact that music therapy can improve on communication skills, like a willing partner that can make a huge difference in how effective therapy can be. Creative forms of therapy like music therapy can provide an outlet for clients who are less comfortable talking directly through their emotions. And according to the American Music Therapy Association, music therapy is a recognized clinical profession delivered by clinicians, and the association currently serves more than 3,500 members who work to advance the field and support research into its benefits.
That's awesome. That's a really cool fact.
Very cool.
Yeah. Music therapy is a really helpful tool. I know I am impacted by music a lot. For my fact, I actually have a shocking fact, I'll say. I didn't think that this would be true, but International Federation of the Phonographic Industry actually did a study. They've done a lot of global studies, and they found that people listen to music for roughly 1,000 hours a year, which I thought that was only me. I thought that was a me thing since I'm a musician, but it was interesting to realize that everyone listens to that much music.
Is that like the average?
Yeah, that's the average. And they included a bunch of different countries in the global study thing. So that was really cool to see. So back to your point a little bit, Elle.
Yeah.
Yeah, on music therapy, one of my first questions is, how does music impact you as a listener? Like in your group activities, on a personal level, all those kinds of things.
It impacts me with feeling more free, like just the sound of music, like you just feel the energy and you feel like connected with everyone. And when you're singing yourself, you also feel connected with the audience. Like when I sung Part of Your World from The Little Mermaid as a solo in choir to end my high school graduation. It was very nerve-wracking, but it was yet really connecting to the audience, because it's like you're connecting with your audience with verbal communication in a way where like your lyrics have good poetry, and it's worth connecting to how the audience listens to you and can see through your personality a little bit.
That's a really good answer. For me personally, it impacts me more on a personal level. I like to think through my thoughts, create new ideas while listening to music. It's how it makes my brain function a little bit better.
Yeah.
But it also gets you through a lot of emotional times, I know. Jagger and Jacob, what do you think? How does music impact you in the most substantial way?
I would say music is like the first like kind of language that you learn, I think. Like a 2-year-old baby, most of the time before they can speak, they're already dancing to like rhythm and melody and stuff. So I would say music is definitely a deep part of what we need as humans to like understand what we're experiencing, I guess. It's a good way to paint a picture with something deeper than just paint on a canvas. It's like the quickest form of art to get in the system, in my opinion.
Yeah.
To get into your system. And it's very connecting. It's just when a bunch of people are listening to really good music at the same time, it's like you're literally all on the same frequency, and it's just very, very good for you, I think.
Yeah, and on to that point, it is a very creative outlet, and people will take it in a different way. There's different interpretations that you can take from the music and the lyrics itself, but it is it's a great way to build community bonding. Mm-hmm. And even though there might be different interpretations of the same musical piece, people can connect together and reflect on that together.
Different every time.
Jagger, what do you think?
It's almost going off of what he said. It's like a universal kind of language. And I don't mean that just in like a intercultural sense, but there are these great cosmic mysteries of the universe, and how we as people find through like curiosity or creativity or something, we find these ways to really resonate with the natural world around us. And music is a very easily accessible way to do that. Like it's literally all around us all the time, with the birds and even the wind or water. You can interpret that as these are beautiful sounds, which can almost be a kind of language. it's like aligning yourself with an unnatural force around you.
Yeah, I really like that answer, actually. It makes me wonder, because music's been around for like ever, and we've always created different fun instruments. I wonder if that might be why they started creating their own music, is hearing things like the river and the birds back in.
The first musical instruments was just pieces of wood that,
Yeah.
I mean, like it literally, the wind was blowing through like a rotten trunk or something, or
Yeah.
a rock formation with holes in it, and things would whistle and you'd hear the frequency, and early humans would start humming along, or they would take literally like intestine, like they would make strings out of gut.
Yeah. They still do
intestines.
that,
Yeah, they
actually.
still do.
Those are a little bit finicky, I must say.
Yeah.
The weather messes with those gut strings.
Same with a lot of, I don't want to say like less like high-end musical instruments, like the stuff that you'd see in like a tribe or something, of or an old guitar. It's usually a lot more susceptible to weather and stuff like that, so it's hard to maintain. But yeah, they would just hear something. It's the birds, especially like birds and wind, and
Yeah.
it's, I don't know, it's irresistible.
Yeah. That's probably also what inspired things like the Four Seasons, for example.
Yeah.
Just the weather changes. They give a different meaning to create music with.
Oh, dude, no
Mhm.
kidding. The music that I listen to in the summertime and the wintertime and the fall, it changes.
Totally different
There's
vibes.
sometimes I don't even know what to pick, because in the summertime I want to listen to Marvin Gaye and I don't know, stuff like that, or I'm blanking on the name, Minnie Riperton and people like that, just like that real like summertime sound. In the wintertime I'm listening to like death metal and stuff like that, or like new wave, like even the Cure or the Smiths or something. They're just certain people, it comes back down to self-expression. Certain people just have different things that they're going through, and so they channel different things into the music.
That actually brings me to one of my next questions. Is your guys' favorite genres? Elle, I know you performed in choir for a long time. Do you like
Yes.
hymnals a lot or lyrical music?
It actually depends, because my music mood changes over time. Like depends on what music mood I'm in. And like he said, during the seasons, it changes. Like in the summer, I'll listen to Harry Styles, especially that song Golden, because it sounds very summer-like. If I'm in a bad mood, I listen to heartbreak songs and songs that are like gloomy and moody and songs that are slow. But my favorite genre, probably pop, because like it just pumps up the energy in me. And there's like different versions of pop, and there's like a bunch of pop artists out in the world.
Pop is a great musical genre.
It's-
I do love pop.
So broad.
Yes,
Yeah.
it really is.
Yeah.
There's like pop rock, there's alternative, there like I feel like pop fits a lot of different
Yeah.
genres. For me, there isn't really one genre that I love. If I'm going line dancing, I love some good country. If I'm listening to music at home, I might like some alternative, random rock or pop. But there's also some nostalgia times, like when you want to just listen to Disney.
Or the 90s.
Yes, the 90s too. So
Mhm.
Michael Jackson. I know you don't like Michael Jackson.
He's
Is he
great.
in the 90s?
No, I like his music.
Okay. But yeah. So what about you guys? What genres do you like? And does it also play on your emotions that day?
It's a really wide margin, I think, or like a pretty broad umbrella. Something I usually tell people is that I really appreciate virtuosity. So if it sounds really hard to play, I'm probably going to like it. So I really like jazz or classical music.
Ooh, jazz is a good one.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites.
Or like tech death metal. You know, anything like that is, oh yeah, I love that.
A lot of progressive metal. It's not all just
That was bad.
yeah, it's not all like that. There's a lot it is definitely an acquired taste sometimes, like because it can be a lot just to take in. It's like a dense meal. But there's some progressive metal that's just so beautiful and so insanely difficult. Like difficult doesn't always mean good, but a lot of times it's not like difficult for the sake of being difficult, and that's why we
Yeah.
listen to it. Really good, and they just happen to do really difficult stuff. It's like metal is basically just modern classical music. Everyone says that, but it really is. Metal is what classical music was to them back then, like really fast, intense, virtuosic music that just is, a lot of people are like, they're like, that's not good. You shouldn't listen to that, or it's bad music, or it stresses them out to hear. But for someone who's, for myself at least, I have 5,000 songs downloaded on my phone and there's 600 genres. So it's really hard to pick one because I literally listen to anything that I possibly can. There's obviously stuff I don't like and that I haven't even heard. But when I was really young, my mom would take me to like classical, like cello performances and stuff. And I liked Chet Baker. Like in 7th and 8th grade, I listened to a lot of Chet Baker and Ella Fitzgerald and like Louis Armstrong. And I was like a 13-year-old pretending to be like an old man sipping coffee and smoking cigarettes on a porch or something. Like I was just listening to old stuff.
See, I had the opposite scenario. I was also taken to a bunch of classical performances when I was little, but I despised it and hated my life and would beg to leave. And ironically, now I play in the symphony. I'm like, okay, so maybe it wasn't that bad.
So you don't like music, but you're involved in it?
No, when I was growing up, I didn't like classical music. I loved music.
I can understand people that don't like classical music because it can be like, I don't know. There's so many tempo changes and time signature changes and all this stuff that it's not like a lot of people just like that, like a groove or something that they can lock into. Classical music is very much like through composed, free flowing. There's no like rules really. And so it can be like grating to listen to if you're not really into that.
Yeah, especially these days when the main thing people are looking for is like simplistic relatability.
Yeah. People want something that they can like turn on and enjoy, and something that's like driving a little bit that can help you get through what you're doing.
Yeah.
I like to listen to music. I like to either in the car, full volume and like just indulge in really loud stuff, or I like to lay down and just close my eyes and like dissolve a little bit. That's what music has always been to me. It's just a little bit of another world that I can go into. And I don't know, there's so much to, I guess, there's so many different points of view that people have. That's my favorite thing, is just finding as much as possible. I'll listen to some weird crap, but it's just fun. I love classics. Like I said, Marvin Gaye. I got really into funk, specifically Funkadelic. There's one Funkadelic album that I would listen to on repeat. And in like 9th or maybe like 10th grade, I was really into funk music, and I had long hair. It wasn't this long, but I had long blonde hair, and I shaved my head and dyed my hair green, and I had green leopard print on my head, and I was listening to funk music. And then I grew my hair out and I started listening to like new wave, like The Cure and Joy Division's more post-punk. But I have stuff from every span of decade, whatever. So it just depends on what I'm feeling.
There are a lot of different unique genres that may be an acquired taste for sure. And like you said a little bit ago, classical music is one of those. A lot of people don't like to listen to it much. And that's actually a point I want to go into a little bit more. But first, how about some fun facts?
Yeah.
I have one right now. In 2020, the University of Westminster found that musicians are 3 times more likely to experience anxiety and depression. Isn't that great for us?
Go figure.
I know, right? Like, it's very ironic that music is such a tool to help calm down your nerves and process certain emotions. But when it comes to actually performing the music, you are so stressed out about performing it or creating it that it makes you prone to anxiety for sure. Elle, what about you? Any fun facts?
Another fun fact is that Taylor Swift, yes, I'm a Swiftie at heart. She grew up on a Christmas tree farm. She wrote a song called Christmas Tree Farm. She wrote it in 2019, and then it came out in 2021. It's nostalgic. I've never listened to this song, but...
Are you a Swiftie?
You've never heard Christmas Tree Farm?
No, I have not. I've heard White Christmas and I've heard Silent Night, but no, not Christmas Tree Farm. But I know it's nostalgic. Oh, it even talks about her music video, and it features her childhood home, footage of her and her family. She performed the song live in 2019 at the Jingle Bell Hall in London and the iHeartRadio and the Jingle Ball in New York City. And it was an old-timey version of the track in which the orchestral accompaniment is more emphasized, along with the elements of swing music, which released to digital music platforms in November of 2022.
Very
Awesome.
cool.
I did not know that Taylor Swift grew up on a Christmas tree farm. That's
I
very
didn't either.
interesting. I wonder what they sell when it's not Christmas time. Normal trees? Like
Oak trees?
oak tree? Nor
I have
some
to
kind of
imagine.
tree.
I have to imagine the old spruce business is probably a dying trade because everyone's just buying synthetic Christmas trees.
Yeah.
And everyone
Probably.
that I've seen that's bought a real Christmas tree, it's a fire hazard or an allergy
Yes.
problem,
Yeah.
or there's dirt and bugs all over your house
Yeah.
because there's a
Don't want
tree, because
infestation.
there's a literal tree in your living room. I can imagine people are booming too big.
Yeah, I wonder how that tradition even started. Yeah, let's bring a tree in the house now.
I don't know.
Probably,
It's
yeah.
probably some biblical thing.
Maybe.
I was gonna say Slavic.
Or Slavic,
That
yeah.
sounds pretty
Oh, that
Icelandic
gives
or
us something to research later, huh?
Yeah.
So back to our conversation about classical music. I play in the symphony, and a lot of people don't like classical music, or they don't think they can gain anything from it because there are no lyrics. What message are you
Yeah.
going to get from playing something without lyrics? I would like to contest that.
Yeah, how do you
Mhm.
feel connected to your audience, like doing communication non-verbally? Because you're playing your music, but you don't have any lyrics. How do you connect with your audience with no lyrics?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. There are a lot of messages that you can communicate through your music, and it comes back to chords. You can play some major chords, you can play minor chords, and they have a connotative feel that comes with them. When you're playing major chords, it's something happy, it's bringing you upbeat, you feel engaged. And then if you're playing minor chords, you're still engaged, but you're reflecting. It's not as much of a connection with other people, you're reflecting within yourself. And there's been a couple times where I've played some performances where I really felt connected to the audience. For instance, right after the July 4th flood, we played a lot of benefit concerts and a lot of fundraisers, and we played some very beautiful, heartbreaking music that connected us to the audience. We felt that with them, and it made the audience cry. It made the musicians cry. We had a really tough time
Yeah.
performing that concert, but it just shows that you can have a really strong connection with your audience even without lyrics.
Mhm.
And on a more positive note, I've played some concerts where we had it was one of those funny pieces. We're not going to take this too seriously. It was called Plink Plank Plunk.
That sounds like a funny piece.
That is
It-
a funny
It very
piece.
much was. And it was all plucking. We had the violins and violas and cellos, but we did not use a bow ever. And we were doing all the glissandos. And the weirdest part of it was you would take your hand and just drag it across the wood of the instrument, and the oils on your hand made this god awful screech. And it just kept happening
Oh my
throughout the
gosh.
entire piece, and I could not keep my composure.
Yeah.
It's like, why am I playing this right now?
Why?
Yeah.
But once again, it really connected the audience. You saw the musicians having fun. I was beat red laughing so hard, but it lightened the mood. It connected us. They got away from whatever struggles they're having in the day, because at the end of the day, there's two reasons you're going to listen to music. Either you want to reflect and process through something, or you want to escape something. And that day we were definitely escaping whatever
Yeah.
troubles we had in our lives.
A musical comedy is like super powerful if it's done right. It's like some of the funniest stuff in the world, especially live, because it's just, as a songwriter, most people can't even imagine like composing something. You're like plink plonk. It's just like such a understanding of like comedic timing and stuff. I think that's what Tom and Jerry and cartoons like that did really well.
Yes, that's
because,
true.
Yeah.
dude, musicians that worked on early cartoons and stuff, they were masters at conveying stuff with music, like without any words, like sound effects with instruments and stuff. It's very fun. I think your point of like, how do you communicate non-verbally? It's like entirely melody and chord voicings and things like that. But also, it's also composition as well. It's just a lot of things. I don't know the science behind it. It's definitely has to do with like frequencies and things like that. You have to really know how to like take somebody on a journey, because it's like a body response when music is being played in a live room, because your spine is a literal resonating chamber.
You get those chills and you're like, why am I getting chills? It's so hot in here. But you feel that connection.
It'll affect different parts of your nervous system and different areas of your brain. So it's definitely has to do with something there.
Yeah. Oh, I had a thought and then I lost it.
Grab it. Find it in the air.
Yeah. He was like on the right track with exactly what I was thinking. Oh, sorry, that was loud. People will always be like, oh, minor is sad, major's happy, you know, and for the most part, that's, yeah. But something I also really like about music is that it's extremely contextual.
Yes, I was thinking that.
Yeah. Going off what you said with it's about the composition. There's a song we have where I know you like showed me the chords, and there was I think it's Under My Skin.
Yeah.
Where you definitely play some major chords, but you're not feeling happy at all.
They don't sound major. It's very cool. Just chord extensions. Also, like in isolation, like a major triad and a minor triad, they're sounding like a minor triad is going to obviously sound like really sad. And then a major in isolation, obviously,
right,
it's like happy, sad. And then there's diminished, or it's mysterious and like suspenseful and different things like that. But when you really sit down and experiment with putting those together, the song starts on a chord that is not like minor. Like a lot of the chords actually aren't minor. Like I'll go to this is going to make me sound like such a nerd, but I'll go to an F sharp major or an F sharp major chord, and it's like one of the most like hard hitting chords just because of what's surrounding it. And that's my favorite thing in the world, is coming up with chord voicings and having a lead melody within the chord voicings and everything. Telling a story that way is so much fun.
Chords are a very important part. And like you were saying, it's not inherently sad or happy. It does have that feel, but minor can also be like relaxing and calming and just give you time to breathe. Not necessarily because you're reflecting on something sad, but just time to breathe and sit for a minute. Yeah, it's really special. And chords, I'm a sucker for building chords, add all the melodies and harmonies and combine them in such a beautiful way. I love that feel when things are combined. It makes me like, I love that music.
Yeah, I agree. Stacking chords and stuff, and just coming up with weird stuff that like you wouldn't find.
Yeah.
It's just,
it's not used enough. Elle, I know you've performed a lot of terrifying performances, a lot of choir solos. I know you sung the national anthem recently.
Oh gosh, that's scary.
Yes, I did. That is very terrifying. I could never. But how do you overcome that performance anxiety?
That's a very good question. How I overcome the anxiety is, for me, like especially before when I did choir solos in high school, like I would get in my head a lot, but once I like practiced the day of performing, especially when I did Little Mermaid, Part of Your World for a choir concert, and I practiced in front of like my class, and it was like on the actual stage where we were going to have it. Then I started to feel into it, and I was like, okay, I can do this. I'm ready. My voice is ready. I practiced this for long. This is my moment to do the solo because I've been waiting for so long. It's my moment. So I just had to basically seize the moment and feel a connection with the audience and tell them how I feel. And like just overcoming anxiety, like facing my fears, actually being brave, taking the opportunity and action to do something you love. It's really important.
Carpe diem.
Yeah. Oh my God. That is definitely a really important. Confidence is the biggest thing that you can have when performing music, and I'm really glad you have that. That is not something I always have. Performing is definitely a journey that you have to go on, and you're not always going to be comfortable. I know a lot of us have started really young with our music.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And obviously young kids are going to be scared to go up and perform in front of a giant audience, and I was absolutely terrified. little TMI, I used to vomit every concert.
Yeah.
I used to think I was about to do that.
Yeah, it's terrifying, but that repetitiveness of constantly performing and practicing in front of your peers, that does improve your confidence and it helps you eliminate that anxiety. Obviously, solo performances are a little bit more terrifying.
You're telling me.
Yeah, I am not a big fan of those. But yeah, that leads into some questions for you guys. But before we get into the creator section, fun facts.
Yeah.
Another
Awesome.
one.
Yep. Okay, so this one is a little bit weird. It's not fully confirmed because of how old it is, but it's theorized that Bach and Handel were actually blinded by the same surgeon named John Taylor. Now, both of them were already struggling with eyesight, but after getting the surgery performed, their eyesight seemed to decrease and worsen before they died. So that's very unfortunate. Oh, do you have anything better than that?
Do y'all want to know a secret
Yes.
about the Beatles?
Of
So,
course.
nostalgia. They were the heartthrob of the 60s in their music, but they could not read music. And you might think about their music and that they walk away in awe, but there is a professor, a music professor at the university orchestra conductor since 2019 at Colgate University. And until 1964, the Beatles were not skilled songwriters, and they performed in 1957 and spent years on honoring their craft. They were experimenting with their songwriting to make it original, and a lot of other bands think, I want to become known right out of the block in the first year. This doesn't allow them enough time to think about things deeply. The Beatles had that time, and none of them could read music. But Paul McCartney, he dabbed in piano and trumpet lessons, but no member had any formal music education.
Oh my.
So-
That's got to be difficult to write music.
And they became really famous.
Yeah,
That's
they-
awesome. That's impressive. No, but that actually, because for me, I know I've hated, like, obviously I read music, I'm in the symphony, but I've never been one to love the theory behind it or why we do these things. And I think that might actually be part of why the Beatles didn't write music or didn't read music, but they could create such beautiful things because they didn't have rules to hold them back, maybe.
They were
It is rather boring to sight read.
I don't like
Yeah.
sight reading.
They were the biggest like experimenters
Yeah.
like yet.
And I think that's why they were so popular. They could create anything they wanted and weren't held back by anyone or what anyone said.
Yeah, they're true pioneers.
Exactly.
And they are
Uh,
talented.
This
They are.
guy is a huge music theory nerd.
I am. Yeah.
I don't listen to the Beatles. I've listened to the Beatles, but I don't listen to them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can relate because I don't have any education. I figured it out as I went along, and he's the exact opposite. He's been playing for what, 6 years, 7 years?
Playing what?
Instruments, music.
Like, what am I, 19? So 13 years?
Yeah.
I think.
I didn't pick up an instrument and play it until 3.5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So it's just, yeah, I want to say 3.5 years ago. I have some of my friends that I made at Tybee High School to thank for that because they really got me into. I listened to a lot of.
Shout out, Tybee.
I did not enjoy that place. I listened to a lot of. I wouldn't say main. It was like it's like everyone knows it, like Frank Ocean and stuff like that. Stuff from my sister really because she listened to a lot of rap and like hip hop and stuff. I was in that vein, but I also had the like classical influence and stuff. They really got me into like alternative music. Where was I going with this? Oh. Yeah, I didn't start until they really showed me music and I heard like bands because everything I heard had been like electronic and whatnot. So I really don't have any education. That's awesome to hear that. There's so many examples of that as well of like really huge acts, bands, performers and stuff that like, they're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I learned like a couple things on guitar and then I just experimented with that and saw how far I could go.
That's really awesome, though. Education is not
You're a natural.
Exactly. And education is not required to make beautiful art.
No,
Yeah.
not at
Yeah.
all.
About your band, I know both of you love to listen to music. Is the reason that you created your band, did you want to deepen that connection to music and share your passion for it? Like, why did you create this band?
This band, it's a long story. I started writing songs in a crappy little band before this. The first song I wrote was, it was like, I literally just picked up guitar and I immediately was like, I want to write songs. I don't want to be a cover band. I don't want to be like what everyone else is doing because I'm just such a rebel. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel, but I definitely have to I have to do something that comes from within me, and it's the way I process the things that happen in my life. So I just, as soon as I got a guitar, I just borrowed my friend's guitar. I didn't have an amp or anything. It was just unplugged electric. It was a piece of crap song. It was like 2 chords back and forth. And I was like 15 and I was hooked. I was like, I just want to make music that I want to listen to, that I would want to listen to. I want to make something that I haven't heard yet.
Yeah,
Like,
that's smart.
Yeah, it's like I want a song that does this.
Yeah,
and
if you can't find what you want, create it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And also it's just so much fun. I enjoy like singing and playing at the same time, especially. Just I also like the idea of we're just a 3-piece band, but we sound bigger because we're all like doing multiple things at the same time.
That is a skill to acquire. Multitasking.
It's so hard.
I
It's so
cannot.
hard.
I cannot. I've tried
my
to sing and play at
gosh.
the same time. I just stopped playing and didn't even realize. And during one summer camp, Dr. Dowdy had us try and play the instrument while doing a little dance move. I have never felt so uncoordinated in my life.
That in itself is hard.
Crazy.
People like a guitarist headbanging and stuff. That is, people don't understand how difficult it is to do that because you have to keep your rhythm like as tight as possible. You have to sound like the record, but you also, like, when they recorded the record, they were sitting in a chair in a quiet room and they were as concentrated as you can get and they had it perfect. And then they have to get it to the point where they can play it while running around and
Wow.
headbanging and stuff. So it's
And
Yeah, 'cause-
keeping the air to sing too.
Yeah.
yeah,
Because you don't want to go to a concert and just have them like this. Just
Yeah, that's boring.
that's something that we're gonna try and get better at. There's a thing with performing where I'll go on this little rant and we'll get back to your question.
Okay.
There's a thing with performing where you can have a really good show, like a fun to watch show, and the music can be like okay, or you can have really incredible music and they're not like running around and stuff.
That's a good point. Yeah.
You can't have neither. You can have both. So we're trying to get to the point where we can have both.
Yeah,
A little
it's a
bit of
balance.
both. It is
Mhm.
Yeah.
very hard though, especially when it's just 3 people and I'm playing rhythm and leads and he's playing bass and like we're both singing at the same time doing harmonies and our drummer is just an octopus monster. But yeah, the reason we started this band, really just we wanted something to do
yeah.
because there's
Yeah,
nothing to
fair.
do.
That's fair.
There's
It
nothing to
is.
do here. And I was getting tired of doing the same thing all the time. And I met Tony Young when I was 16. I worked at a pharmacy, Kerrville Drug Pharmacy, and he was a person there. And he sent out this message he's like a huge musician here. He works at the Hill Country Youth Ranch. Everyone knows him. And he sent out this message to a bunch of people of we're having a musicians brunch. So I was like, okay. I went it was at the lake house. I went there and he was the only other person there my age.
I was the only other person there.
Yeah.
Well,
It was just us two. No, there was just a bunch of old people there, like a bunch
Yeah.
of old musicians that were like about to kick the bucket, but they were still having fun.
Yeah.
And he was the only person my age. So immediately I was like, what do you do? And he was like, I've been playing guitar for 5 years, 6 years. And I was like, okay, I've been playing guitar for 10 months. Let's get together.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It was fate.
Yeah.
And yeah, skill wise, he was years past me, but I just was like, I just had songs, I just had ideas.
Yeah.
And so
And that is really the most valuable part.
yeah, I just had ideas and he liked the ideas. So we were like, hell yeah, let's work on this. And then my other friend, his name's Joaquin. I played in my old band. It wasn't really a band. It was just like we got into a tiny little bedroom with 5 other people and just
Everybody got to start
Just
somewhere.
it pissed
Yeah.
everyone within a mile radius off.
Oh,
Yeah, because it was so bad. He was like, let's get together at the Pavilion in Louise Hayes Park. And there's a big sign on the wall that said Pavilion.
Why
go
did you
ahead.
name your band Pavilion?
Perfect
there's the
segue.
answer.
Perfect segue. It was literally, it was at the very end of the day when we were done. It was Joaquin and his friend Brady, the drummer, the original drummer. And then it was us two. And we brought our tiny little amplifiers and our crappy gear. And we went up there and jammed. And there was a bunch of people that were like, you guys sound like crap, but I'm glad you're doing this. Or like,
Wow.
or man, you guys are cool. I
Ouch.
haven't seen people really get out there and jam in a long time. And people actually liked it. And then at the end, I was like, there was a sign on the wall of the Pavilion that said Pavilion.
Okay.
And I was like, that's a cool word. It's like, I was like, yes, very good. I started rubbing my hands together. I was like, good, yes. And then, I was like, let's call it Pavilion. And that's it.
What's
Yeah.
y'all's genre?
Genre, I would say alternative rock.
Yeah, that's.
I can see that.
I just tell people Deftones, but less, not as much Deftones.
Yeah, there's elements of so many different things
Yeah, we just have a little too many inspirations.
to be like, it's not metal, but there's some parts where that's kind of metal. It's like
It
a dark.
incorporates a lot of different things.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
whatever can get the emotion across.
Yeah.
But it's not too broad to where it's like awkward. We
Yeah.
have a sound.
I think it's good to not be too specific, but not too general. That's
Yeah.
smart. Yeah. And I think it's really funny how you came up with the name Pavilion, because I feel like
It's
a
like-
lot of like popular and famous people, they just stumble across
Yeah.
their thing and they're like, oh, this looks cool. And then they're so famous for
Yeah.
whatever it is.
At first, I was just like, it's a cool word. There were a couple of people that were like, Pavilion, really? And there were a couple of people who were like, that is really sick. Like, that's a good name. And I was like, I'm just going to keep it. Our other idea was like, the Pavilion was really gross at the time for some reason. There was, in the corner, there was like a chicken wing bone, and a Band-Aid. And he was like, let's call it Chicken Bone Band-Aid. I was
Oh,
like-
God.
I was like,
Maybe
we're not calling it that. I will name it anything other than that.
Two last questions before
Yeah.
we leave. What is the message you're trying to communicate to your audience? And is it always the same message? I feel like you've already touched on this a little bit.
The message that I'm trying to convey to my audience, I would say I don't like to obey the rules. I like to do things. I like to execute what I think should happen next, and not what, from an objective standpoint, should happen next. And I think the message would be, don't be afraid to connect with things emotionally. It's not corny. It's not cheesy.
Mhm.
It's not like, there's this thing today of, if you try to connect with something, it's seen as it's the worst. It's the
Yeah.
worst.
Yeah.
I can't even articulate it right now, but I think there's a lot of young people out there that have the desire to connect with something on an emotional level. And I think there's a lot of young people out there that are struck with the idea that it's not good to do that, and that it's like cringy to do that.
Yeah. Too many
And,
things are cringe lately.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if you have a passion, if you love something, if you want to
Exactly.
create, it's always, that's dumb.
So
Yeah.
we pour every ounce of what we can into the music. We try and make something as good as possible. And that's the goal, is just don't be afraid to.
Something our drummer brought up that really plays into our name really well is that we serve as a sort of haven for people like that who are seeking that.
Authenticity,
Yes, yeah. So we offer
a pavilion
a pavilion.
people can hang out in.
Where,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
kinda-
special.
yeah,
now
kinda-
it has even more meaning now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's-
like a little home, a little roof for their head.
I was
Yes.
just about to say, it started as like a dumb word that I thought was cool, and then it really picked up some meaning.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
Instagram handle now is like a sacred pavilion.
Shout out. Follow
Yeah.
them.
Yeah,
Shameless.
we're on
Shameless
Instagram.
plug. It's and we're gonna be releasing music soon this
Oh.
year. We're in the process of recording. We have 4 songs that we're gonna release as like a little EP single, and later in the year we're gonna include them on a full length album.
That's awesome.
That's
Do you have
great.
any shows that are going to come up that audience members can maybe see?
Definitely like June, late May, and July. We're gonna be playing all this summer because our drummer's, he's up in college.
Huh.
5 hours away
Aren't we all?
across the state, but he's going to be down here all summer, and we are going to be working our butts off trying
That's
to
awesome. That gives
get
us
stuff
something to
released.
look forward to. Maybe
Yeah, it
families
does.
on summer vacation. Elle, why don't you give us the last question we have for today?
Would you create with some? Who would you collaborate with, alive or dead?
Oh, what's that band you like? The three girls.
Hello, Mary.
Oh,
I want to open for them so badly.
Yeah.
It would be them or Jeff Buckley because
Oh, yeah. That's
I
a
don't
good
know
one.
if I don't even know if I could like collaborate with him because he was just on another level, but
He's-
I would want to like at least just watch him work.
those are
Yeah.
both good answers.
Do you know Hello, Mary?
I do not.
That's okay. They're not a very big band.
I'll look them up.
They're
I like smaller bands
they're-
like y'all.
they're really fantastic. I saw them in Austin and I met every single one of them, and I met the drummer and then I had like little interactions with the others. But they just make incredible music. They're one of my biggest inspirations, and it would be sick to have a 3-piece boy band open for a 3-piece girl band. So
Oh,
Oh,
I
wow.
love that.
Yeah.
That would be
And-
awesome.
and they have accomplished something that I strive for, which is just like when I saw them live, they took, compared to the other bands that were playing, the other bands were great. It was a band called Bleary Eyed and a band called Farmer's Wife. As soon as they got on stage, it was like a different thing. And they took the audience into another universe, and it was so awesome. And I want to do that.
That's awesome. Jagger, what about you? Who would you collaborate with?
I definitely agree with what he said about Jeff Buckley. That would be insanely cool. But a personal inspiration of mine,
Devin Townsend would be cool.
yeah, that'd be pretty cool. See, I'm trying to fit our bill as well as
No, make it a selfish thing. Make it a
Yeah.
personal
Okay.
If you were collaborating on a personal level, not
Yeah.
with the band,
You're a
who would you
solo
choose?
act.
oh, okay.
Yes, solo act.
There's my favorite band is a band called Thank You Scientist, and
Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
they're really proggy, but they're a 7-piece. They have the main 4: bass, drums, vocals, guitar. They also have a trumpet, a saxophone, and a violinist.
Oh, that's
They're so
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
that is cool.
Their guitarist, Tom Monda, is top 3 guitarists I've ever heard.
Yeah.
He is a monster.
Their bass
Um,
player too.
Yeah.
Was it their
Oh,
old
he
bass player?
left.
Did he die or did he just leave?
He just left,
Okay.
but he was awesome too.
Sometimes they just die, so you have to make sure.
But if I had to choose, I would love to meet and, in my dreams, collaborate with Mr. Tom Monda.
That's awesome. Elle, what about you? I have a feeling I might know this answer.
Actually, I don't follow a lot of dead people, but Aretha Franklin,
Oh,
because
dude.
I like her music is so connecting.
Yeah.
And I actually did a choir concert years ago with just the girls only, the girls group. We did a collab of Aretha Franklin songs. We did I Say a Little Prayer. What else? Respect. Like it was like a combination of many of her songs, like to represent us as women.
That's cool.
beautiful. For me, I feel like I don't know. I have maybe
Beethoven.
okay. Yeah, people may think I would choose some classical composer, but I feel like if I was in a room with them, I would feel like a shrimp.
yeah.
So maybe not them. I don't know. I feel like 2 influential creators throughout my life. Like when I was younger, it was a lot of Panic at the Disco
Oh,
and
Oh,
Brendan
nice.
Urie.
Brendan
I feel
Urie's
like
awesome.
if I was just in a room with him creating, it wouldn't be too much pressure. Like it would just be us hanging out, having a ridiculous time. That would
Probably
be fun.
really fun.
And lately, this is a little bit more of a popular answer lately. Alex Warren, I think his songs are good. There are some that are a little bit overplayed,
Yeah.
definitely that get a little
I don't know if I would
that
say him.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know who Alex Ward is.
okay.
He's a little new, so
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's newer. He's gaining a lot of popularity. Some of the songs are a little bit overplayed,
Yeah.
but some of his smaller songs, I'm like, oh,
That's
I
how
like
it
these.
goes.
And he's very funny. Like his trauma and humor, that's what I like.
Yeah. I
But
would
yeah.
like to add 2 people.
Okay.
I
Go.
would
What do you
like to
got?
add Chet Baker. He's a jazz music. Yeah, I'm sorry. I couldn't hold my tongue. I would like to add Chet Baker He's a jazz musician. He's dead, but he was literally called the king of jazz. He has some of my favorite songs of all time. Like there's a performance of Almost Blue that they did in Tokyo. I've been listening to that like 100 times a year since I was in like 7th grade, coming out into 7th grade. So I was like 11 years old listening to that, and I still listen to it so often. And also just like everything else that he's done. And then I would like to add Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance, because he is a genius. He's also a comic book writer.
Awesome.
He wrote The Umbrella Academy, if you've heard that. He was the author and illustrator of Umbrella Academy. That whole band, really. He's like one of my favorite songwriters and singers and performers, and the guitarists Ray Toro, Frank Iero. I have a cat named after Frank Iero.
Oh my God.
And also their bassist Mikey Way, his brother, the most beautiful man on the planet.
Well,
Unfortunately, that's the end of the podcast.
Oh, shoot.
so sad.
But there will be more to come. Make sure to follow us on LinkedIn and Instagram to see our future projects. We hope to see you there, and hopefully you learned about different ways of how you communicate using our music. So stay tuned. Do you want to add a quote, Alex?
Yes, and before our quote, I would like to recognize our amazing guests. Go follow them on
Thank
Instagram
you.
too at A Sacred Pavilion.
Yes.
And like Elle said, just follow our LinkedIn's Elle Reinarz.
Reinarz.
I can say your last name. I can. And then Alexandria French. And to end us off, I have a quote from Beethoven. To play a wrong note is insignificant. To play without passion is inexcusable.
Amen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hallelujah.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Keep an eye out for new music.